lot of people here. Let me begin by thanking John for that very generous introduction. Let me thank my dear friends Ed and Betty Garvey for all the work they've done for Wisconsin and this country for so many years. But mostly, on this early summer night, let me thank all of you for being here this evening. Tonight we have made a little bit of history. You may know that there are some 25 candidates running for President of the United States. But tonight, we have more people at a meeting for a candidate for President of the United States than any other candidate has had. Shown something yesterday. Apparently the Wisconsin Republican Party has welcomed me into the state with a billboard, and the billboard indicated that I was an extremist. So let me just say a few words to my friends in the Republican Party about extremism. When you deny the right of workers to come together in collective bargaining, that's extremism. When you tell a woman that she cannot control her own body, that's extremism. When you think a woman is a child and can't purchase a contraceptive, that is extremism. When you give tax breaks to billionaires and refuse to raise the minimum wage, that's extremism. But our views, which represent, in fact, the vast majority of the American people, are a little bit different. We believe that the time has come when people in Wisconsin, Vermont, and all over this country create a political movement which says to the billionaire class, you can't have it all. What we are saying to the Koch brothers, Governor Walker, and all of those people is that this great country and our government belong to all of the people and not just a handful of very wealthy people. Now, the truth of the matter is that politics in a democratic society should not be complicated. What politics should simply be about is people coming together, taking a hard look at the problems that we face, listen to different ideas, and then go about solving those problems. Despite what the media may think, politics is not a baseball game with polls. Politics is not a soap opera. What politics is about in a democratic society is people coming together and improving life for our people. Today, I want to touch on some of the major issues that are facing our people and talk to you about some ideas as to how we can address those problems. But the first point that I want to make, and John Nichols has already made it, and let me be very clear about this. This campaign is not about Bernie Sanders. It is not about Hillary Clinton. It is not about anybody else. It is about you. It is about putting together a grassroots movement of millions and millions of people who stand together and make it clear that we need fundamental changes in the economics and politics of this country so the government works for all of us and not a handful of wealthy campaign contributors. And let me also tell you that in order to win this election, it goes without saying that we need a strong grassroots movement, an unprecedented grassroots movement. But let me say this to you also, and this is something that no other candidate will tell you, and that is that nobody in the White House, no matter how good he or she may be, can address the major issues facing working families and the middle class without an active, politically conscious grassroots movement. The reason for that is not complicated. It is that the big money interests, Wall Street, corporate America, all of these guys have so much power that no president can defeat them unless there is an organized grassroots movement making them an offer they can't refuse. Is about. What this campaign is about is creating a political revolution in America. A revolution which takes on the greed of Wall Street and corporate America. A revolution which takes on the reality that the Republican Party is essentially owned by big money interests, and too many Democrats are owned by big money interests. Today, we live, hard to believe, many people don't sense it, we live in the wealthiest nation in the history of the world. That's where we are today. But most people in this country don't sense that, don't feel that, because almost all of the wealth is being held in the hands of a very few. America today has more income and wealth inequality than any other major country on earth, and the gap between the very, very rich and everyone else is wider in America today than it has been since 1928. The issue of wealth and income inequality, to my mind, is the great moral issue of our time. It is the great economic issue of our time. And it is the great political issue of our time. Let me be as clear as I can be. There is something profoundly wrong when today the top 1/10 of 1% own almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. There is something profoundly wrong when today 58% of all new income is going to the top 1%. There is something profoundly wrong when in recent years we have seen a proliferation of millionaires and billionaires at the same exact time as millions of Americans are working longer hours for lower wages, and we have by far the highest rate of childhood poverty of any major industrialized country. There is something profoundly wrong when one family, the Walton family of Walmart, owns more wealth than the bottom 130 million Americans. This grotesque level of inequality is immoral, it is bad economics, it is unsustainable, and it is not what the United States of America is supposed to be about. This is a rigged economy, and brothers and sisters, together we are going to change that. This campaign is sending a message loud and clear to the billionaire class, and that is, you can't get tax breaks when children in America go hungry. You cannot continue to send our jobs to China when millions of Americans are desperately looking for work. You can't hide your profits in the Cayman Islands and in other tax havens while we have so many unmet needs in America. You're going to have to solve that. The greed of corporate America and the billionaire class has got to end, and we are going to end it for them. Yeah! But the issue of our economy is not just income and wealth inequality. The issue of what's going on in our economy deals with the tragic reality that for the last 40 years, the great middle class of America, once the envy of the entire world, has been disappearing, despite exploding technology, so that every worker in America is significantly more productive than those who came before. median family income is almost $5,000 less today than it was in 1999. In my state of Vermont, and I'm sure that it is true here in Wisconsin, we have workers not working at one job, not working at two jobs, but sometimes working at 3 or 4 jobs at abysmally low wages in order to cobble together an income and some health care. That is not the American economy that we will accept. And when you look at the economy, what we have to understand is that every month the government announces a statistic about official unemployment. Currently it is about 5.4%. But if you look at another government statistic, which includes those people who have given up looking for work, and those people, those millions of people who are working part-time when they want to work full-time, real unemployment today is close to 11%. That is unacceptable. And let me touch on an issue that is widely ignored. Almost nobody talks about it. And that while real unemployment is close to 11%, youth unemployment has reached tragic proportions. Today in America, for those young people 17 to 20, those kids who have graduated high school or have dropped out of high school, if they are white, youth unemployment is 33%. If they are Hispanic, youth unemployment is 36%. If they are African American, youth unemployment is 51%. In my view, maybe, just maybe, it makes sense to create jobs and educational opportunities for these young people. Maybe we should create jobs and educational opportunities rather than more and more incarceration and more jails. Today in America, shamefully, we have more people in jail than any other country on earth. So our job, in fact, is to create a new criminal justice system. Our job is police department reform. Our job is to make sure that young African Americans can walk down the street without being abused or worse. Our job is to have the best educated population in the world, not the country with the most people in jail.